everybody, welcome back. This is Miss Faye and this is my world. Today's topic is don't rush to marriage. Don't let anybody rush you to marriage. All right, before we get started, I want to say welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to all of the new viewers, all of the new subscribers, and welcome to you who have been with me from the beginning. I really appreciate you. Now, those of you who are new to the channel, I will answer your relationship questions. So at the end of the video, I'll show you a link where you can send in your questions, and I will either answer them privately through the email, or I will share them online with the collective, and it can be your decision. Now, those of you who are interested in these caps, they are available in my online store, and you'll find a link in the description. Now it's time for our daily affirmation. And we do these affirmations to help with our spiritual growth. And here it is. I like myself. I am proud of who I am. I like myself. I am proud of who I am. Let this affirmation sink deep. I like myself. I am proud of who I am. People, let this affirmation be a blessing to you today. Be proud of yourself. Love yourself. I like myself. I am proud of who I am. Now it's time for movement. And we do these movements to get our blood circulating. Today we're going to do simple arm movement, and we're going to do it for 5 times. And what we're going to do is just this for 5 times. Okay? You ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, stretch it. 4, stretch it, and 1 more. 5. All right, did you feel it? I feel that all the way up. Now let's do the other side. 1, 2, stretch it. 3, stretch it. 4, and 1 more. 5. All right, I felt it up here too. These movements are very important to your physical, your mental, and your spiritual growth. Move your body a little bit every day. Now let's dive into this message. Don't rush into marriage. I did pull a video. Let's watch the video, and we have a letter. Gonna read the letter, and we're gonna talk about this issue. Okay, here we go.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but I understand that wife sounds better than girlfriend. But you need to understand that single sounds better than stupid. Don't be in a rush to get married to just anyone. Make sure it's the right one.
Never rush marriage. Not saying don't get married. I'm saying to never rush into it. Make sure it's something that you carefully thought of. Search your heart first. Do you really love this woman? If you can truly see yourself spending the rest of your life with this person, then by all means I would say marry them. The whole idea of not rushing is to help prevent you from a financial loss, because divorces cost in many different ways.
I've been a divorce lawyer for 40 years, and here's why it is a bad idea to get married in your teens and your 20s. Who you were at 18 or 20 is not the same person you're going to be at 30. You don't have financial stability. You don't have a career. You don't know where you're going. There's so many question marks, and you haven't developed into who you are. You're just trying to figure things out.
You see what they said in the video? Let's read this letter. She entitles her letter, Life Advice. I'm a millennial, single and a working legal professional while in law school. I live in the Bay Area of California. I grew up in a religious family. My mom makes me feel like I have no value since I am not married, and I chose to get 2 degrees in my 20s and working on a third. She doesn't think women in their 30s or above should get married after their career has been established. She thinks marriage is only for those in their 20s when they have nothing, struggling to make ends meet and living in poverty. She even told me it's okay to take a homeless mofo in for marriage, which isn't normal. She thinks struggle makes marriages strong. Well, I don't necessarily agree with that one. In today's society, this is not feasible, especially for Black women. Black women who have their lives together have too much to lose dealing with any man who can't match what she provides or has more than she has. Okay, wait a minute. You say that Black women who have their lives together have too much to lose dealing with any man who can't match what she provides. I agree with that. You got to have a man. Well, you know what? This is what I'm going to say. I believe that you deserve a man who has more, who can provide more than what you have. All right? Because you are not the provider, ladies. I don't care how much you make. It's not your job to provide. It's the man's job to provide. So you want a man who can provide for you. Now, if you are at a high income level, then you need a man who's at a higher income level. We don't date down. You understand? You don't need a man to match you dollar for dollar. Why? You are not the provider. The man is. Okay? If you choose to help him provide for you, you have free will. You can do that. But it's the man's job to protect and to provide. Women, it doesn't matter how much money you make or what your profession is or what your status is. It's the man's job. Okay? Realistically, most people can't afford to carry a grown man in their economy, married or not. You should not be carrying a man, period. Period. I have been focused on getting myself together emotionally, mentally, and spiritually for marriage someday. Really? So you are working on yourself to prepare yourself for somebody else? Think about what you said. You are preparing yourself emotionally, spiritually, and mentally for marriage? Why? You should be doing this for yourself. For yourself, not for any marriage. For your own well-being, for your own happiness, for your own foundation. It has nothing to do with a man. Nothing. I'm okay with being single. That's wonderful. She acts like being single is the worst thing in the world to be. She probably feels this way because she feels that, and she grew up in the era where men took care of the women. All right, women usually kind of stayed home or whatever. If they had a man who was responsible, they didn't work. But these women But this mindset acts like you need a man. You must have a man to validate who you are. Ladies, you don't need a man to validate who you are at all. At all. Love yourself and be the best version of yourself always. And let it have nothing to do with a man. Now, if you desire a man, that's a different story. But don't allow anybody to make you feel funny because you don't have one. Okay? She subscribes to the mindset that women's only purpose in life is to be married to a man, be a mule, provide everything to him that his mother provided, and more, while getting little or nothing in return. Well, unfortunately, there are many, too many women who have this mindset. And basically, many of them have the mindset because of religion. Religion teaches this kind of doctrine. You see? That make you believe that your purpose is to serve man. Because, in that Bible, it says that women were made from the rib of a man to be his helpmate. You see, that's biblical. But in spirituality, we don't follow the Bible. Only because many of the writings in the Bible have been manipulated to make certain points to enslave people. Now, I'm not saying that everything in the Bible is false. There is true information, I believe, in the Bible, but a lot of it has been distorted. Women, you were not created out of a man's rib, number one. I don't believe that. And number two, you were not created to be the helpmate to some man. No. You are an individual, a strong being. You are a spiritual being. You are whole. You don't need a man to make you whole. You don't need a man to validate you. And you don't need a man to take care of you. You actually can take care of yourself. It's the way that you think. It's the way that you believe about yourself and your capabilities. Many women have been taught from little girls. That's why you go to the store and you see the babies and you see the carriages because, they want to groom you that that's going to be your life. Having babies, pushing them in the carriage, cooking. They have little stoves that little girls can buy so they can learn how to cook and clean the house and that kind of thing. And what do the men get when they're little? They get cars to race around with, guns to be violent with each other, things to fight each other with, and things like that. You see, we are groomed from children to be who we become as adults. But women, you need to understand this. You are not a helpless being unless you want to be. That's your free will. And if you want to be a helpless being waiting on a man to do everything for you, that's you. I've seen women sit up in their homes all day long waiting for their husbands to come to change a light bulb or to plug in a plug or to make the TV work or to get this done or to use a screwdriver. Come on, ladies. Come on, ladies. You can do all of these things yourself. You don't need a man for that. Really. And most times, men don't do a good job of it anyway. Even if they know how to do things. Okay? Let's see what else you say here. You say here that women are responsible for everything, including child rearing. Any abuse and neglect by the husband is considered to be normal to her. This is your mother. grooming you like this, she's just got the wrong idea. She was just raised differently. She just never came to the realization that she has power. She lived her life feeling she didn't have any power. The man had all the power. So that's why she feels that women should totally submit to men. Of course, that's in the Bible too. Submit to your partners or whatever. No. And plus, since we're on that, talking about the Bible, the Bible condones slavery. It condones slavery. That's right. The slaves honor their masters, serve their masters happily. Okay? And it all comes around and it bleeds into the whole family and the marriage and all of that. No. Walk away from that. When it comes to marriage, I have noticed a lot of women engage in idolatry when it comes to being married as well. I don't know what you mean by that, idolatry. Society expects younger women like me to accept all this BS. I refuse to do any of this. Well, good for you. You have a mind and you're using it. Good for you. She constantly weaponizes her marriage against me because I'm single. She blames women's lib and feminism collectively on why men refuse to be men by being providers, protectors, and problem solvers. Listen, women's lib feminism has nothing to do with these men, the way that they are. Ladies, how you gonna blame yourself for how a man turns out? You can't change a man. A man is who he is. These men are grooming each other to be who they are. They are not being groomed to be providers or protectors anymore. Men are being groomed to use you, to have you believe, since you out here working and whatever, then let's pay half. You be half of the provider, and I'll be the other half if I feel like it. You understand, ladies? That's how you get caught in these traps. Listen, a man shows his love where he puts his money. Okay? So if he's not putting but half of his money into you and you putting the other half, well, where's the other half going? To someone else? To another woman? To another family? Ladies, wake up. Wake up. Do not help a man to provide for you. If he cannot provide for you, then he's not the right man for you. That's the way I look at it. That's why I say, have your own. You have your own. You're not going to settle for anybody. Just any old man just to have one to get society off your back from asking you why you don't have a man. Live your life without regard to what other people say, think, or do. This is your life. It's for you to enjoy. It's for you to learn and to have what you desire. So don't worry about what other people say. And you say, nah, the men that refuse to be men, that's on them. I told her to stop blaming everyone else for their behavior except the men. You're right. Men are who they want to be and who they can get away with being with women. Women with this mindset, they can get away with a lot. Because the way that your mother feels like, if the man abuses you and neglects you, that's just how men are. No, it's how they are because women have accepted it. You understand, ladies? If you don't accept it, men will have to change to be with you. They would be forced to change because you would not accept any of this low vibrational activity. And that's what it is. Low vibration. She accepts me to settle for any old dusty male just so she can see me married, as she thinks marriage is the epitome of success in life. That is a distorted mindset. She has just been raised that way. All right? Now, I'm going to say something here. I don't want you to get offended. But if she comes from a family and all the women in that family believe the way that your mother believes about marriage, it's possible this is a generational curse. And if it is, it's up to you to break it. It's up to you to break it. If this is a mindset in your family from generations that women should be just getting married early when they don't have anything and building a life with a man, hoping it's going to work out, submitting to him and all of that, that's a curse. No, don't go with that. Being married can be the worst thing you can choose to do. It can be the worst thing. It's not what people think. You see, we are fooled by marriage from reading these romance novels, looking at these romance movies, and what other people are saying, and seeing couples out and they're kissing and they're lovey-dovey and all of that, and thinking, wow, I want that. Well, listen, when you see couples out here all lovey-dovey, most times they're in a honeymoon stage. See, there are stages to a relationship. You don't know what stage. By the time they get to the next stage, they may have broken up. Don't believe everything you see, and don't believe everything you hear. When you love yourself, your intuition will guide you. That is your spiritual guide, and it will never fail you. Your own intuition will tell you the right way to go. You say, I don't agree with this, and I don't either, about marriage being the epitome of success in life. No. I would get married to the right man when God sends him. She doesn't hear me, though. What advice do you have on this weaponization of my mom's marriage against me and the pressure to settle into marrying men who don't meet any standards of mankind? Well, throughout your letter, I think I made myself pretty clear about it. Now you say one thing here. I would get married to the right man when God sends him. Okay. I understand what you mean by that. Okay. So I will assume that you have asked for what you desire. Specifically. Not just a man, but specifically what you desire in your life. All right. Because how can you expect the right man to come to you when you don't even know what you want? You don't even know what kind of man you want. You don't even know what standards he needs to meet. That's why I tell you, ladies, sit down with yourself and write down exactly what you want in a man. Exactly what it is that you desire, the qualities that you desire in this man, and be specific. Because if you never ask, then people will come to you, but it's not given because you haven't asked for it. Ask for what you desire in life, ladies. That's one of the keys. People sit around and they complain, I don't have this and I don't have that and I don't understand. You never asked for it. You never believed that you could get it. Don't settle. Don't be rushed into marriage. Now for me, I was married twice. I'm single now. All right. My first marriage was right after college. And I went into that marriage because I came out of a narcissistic household and I couldn't go back. I could not go back to that household after college. So what did I do? I latched on to the first man that wanted to marry me. And I don't even know if he really wanted to get married, but it happened. All right. Got married, and it was a horrible situation. Horrible. We were both in college, so I feel like it can't be that bad. He was a writer, and I was an artist. And I thought, well, we could make it together. I mean, we liked each other and everything, but we didn't know anything about each other. We were still growing. He was on a totally different page from what I was. And we only found this out after we got married. He didn't like me and I didn't like him. But my family, being a religious family and trying to get some kind of acceptance from them, I stayed with this monster for 7 horrible years. Because I'm listening to what other people are telling me and quoting scripture to me that you got to stay with your husband and all that kind of nonsense. Okay? Until one day I realized, no, this is not working. And plus I had young boys, 3 boys, and I didn't want them to look at their father like a role model because he was doing everything. He was a drunk, he was a cheater, and he was a wife beater. Okay? So it was horrible. It was like hell. I didn't want my boys growing up like that. So I packed them up one day and took off. That was it. That was the end of that. All right. So then, all right, I thought I had learned the lesson about marriage, but no, I didn't. I just felt like I had chosen, a bad pick. All right. So I waited 11 years before my next marriage. I went into that marriage because at that time I was 40 years old. And I said, this is my last chance to be married. Because, see, you're groomed as a child that you're supposed to be married. This is where happiness is. This is where your validation is in being married. So at 40 years old, I'm still out here wanting to get married. And this young man came to me. He was he was 5 years younger than me, but he was gorgeous. Gorgeous man. So I figured, because of my life experience, whatever he needed to help him to grow or to whatever, I could do it for him. I could mold him into what he should be. So I married him. Again, it was the worst. It was the worst. He wasn't violent, but he was not mature either. He was not a good provider at all. So here I was. He had convinced me to have another child. I'm at 40. 40. His family he didn't have any children. His family wanted him to have a child. Okay, so I agreed. I agreed to have this child. He turned out to be the biggest loser ever. Second time. No. Terrible choices. Terrible choices. But I left that marriage after 2 years and I raised my first set of kids on my own. Now I'm raising this one on my own. But listen, what I did in the meantime is work on myself because I knew I had these children to raise. So I needed a strong foundation myself. I did not come to this realization until after the narcissist. After the narcissist, which I thought was going to be my last stop. This is it. and the narcissist discarded me, this is when I jumped on the spiritual path. I said, there's got to be more to life than this. There's got to be a meaning behind this. Why is everything just going south all the time? So I went into spirituality. I went into meditation. After a lot of heartbreak and crying and pleading, oh, help me, I can't take it anymore. Please heal me. I just cried out, please heal me and take this pain away. And it put me on my spiritual path. And on my spiritual path, everything became clear. Everything became clear that we are spiritual beings. We're here to learn. We're not here to serve a man, women. We were not created for that. We are strong. We are intelligent. Now, if you want to have children, you need the sperm, but you don't actually need the man. You can raise your children on your own. It's really up to you. See, I know this may sound a little shocking to some people who have the mindset, you want the family to be together and all of that. But look at the families who are together. Many of them are miserable. Miserable, trying to keep the family together. When if you walk away from toxicity, you can find your true happiness. This is it. This is what I'm saying. Don't rush into marriage and don't allow anybody to make you feel like you need to be married. Being single, I'm at my happiest that I have ever been in my entire life. Being on the spiritual path, it changed the way that I think about life and about marriage, about a lot of things. Now, understand, I'm not really talking against marriage. I believe that if you are on your spiritual path and you ask the divine to send you the perfect mate for you, and you've already written down exactly what you want, it's given to you. Now, you may have to do some work on yourself to raise your vibration to meet this mate that's on his way to you. But when you ask the divine for something, it's given. You ain't got to go to the church and fall on your knees and pray and sweat and all of that. That's a waste of time and energy. And you're being deceived. Ask the divine for whatever you desire in your life and believe that you will get it. People, I hope that you understand the message today. Marriage is a serious contract. It's very easy to get in, but can be extremely difficult to get out of. So don't hop into marriage just because you have been groomed to believe that you are supposed to be married, especially by a certain age, that marriage is the epitome of a successful life. Don't believe it. Now, those of you who have questions that you would like for me to answer, here's the link. Send your questions to Miss Faye's World, YT, at hotmail.com. That's Miss Faye's World, YT, at hotmail.com. And try to keep your letters to one page. Just summarize the situation and ask the question. And if you prefer that I answer your question privately through the email, just put it at the very top of your letter and I will comply. I want to thank you so much for your letters and your comments. I do read them and I really appreciate them because it tells me what you think about these messages. And I want to extend a special thank you to those that leave a donation. I appreciate all of you. I wish you all the very best, and I really hope to see you next time.